back to The Spill. I'm your host, Tamia.
And I'm Marcus, and today we have the pleasure of having our former Word on the Street host, India, joining us today.
Hi, I'm India.
So today we have the honor of sitting down with Junior Communications Major and CEO of MTF Cosmetics, Morgan Fitzpatrick. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So we have a couple of questions for you
Okay.
today, along with your array of highlighters here. So India, you can start with your questions, baby.
So in August, you launched your business. So how do you feel about the growth of your business so far?
The overall growth of my business since August has been huge, and it has been honestly just a blessing, because just seeing it all unfold underneath like my eyes is just, it really is amazing.
What was the process in order to get this business started?
It took a lot. It took a lot of research, and more research. And the way I went about it is, this all started from my love of highlighting, because highlighting is my favorite part about doing my makeup. So I was like, why don't I just come up with like my own line of them? So I knew that I wanted my first product to be highlighters, and I knew eventually that I would like expand on to other things. But I just started thinking about like what types of colors that I wanted to put out, and then the very first step is like choosing my name. I thought about what I wanted my name to be and what I wanted my logo to be, and I called it MTF. It stands for Morgan Taylor Fitzpatrick. It's my name because I wanted it to be like really personal to me. So I was like, how personal can get if it's your name? And next came the logo part. I actually drew it myself, and then my friend Kayla, shout out to Kayla, she made it come to life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want MTF Cosmetics to become in the future?
Ultimately, I want to have my own store, whether it's one or like a chain of them, and like to be sold in like Ulta or Sephora would be pretty cool. But ultimately, I just want to have a store, at least one store.
How did your makeup collab with Makeup for Women of Color come about?
It came about because I already had her on my list of PR to send out my products to. Mm-hmm. So I just went out on a leg, and I was like, let me just shoot an email, see if she would be even interested in the idea. And from there, it all went well. She was like, yeah, I'm down to do it. Let's do it. And from there, we had, discussions about like what the overall look of the collab would look like, and, the goal behind it. And basically, she wanted it to appeal more to women of deeper tones. Mm-hmm. So I just went to work on creating different colors. I sent her different samples, and then we finally agreed on one that looked the best. And from there, it just transpired.
How do you manage being a CEO of your own growing company and also being a student here at George Mason University?
It definitely is difficult, but I just try to find the balance between school and business and other things that I'm involved in. But ultimately, at the end of the day, school comes first. Mm-hmm. So I do try to make sure that I have all my schoolwork out of the way, or any assignments that I need to do done before I start working on business things for the day. And depending upon the workload that I have, it varies from week to week. So if I know one week that I have a lot of assignments to do, I'll set aside a specific amount of time, whether it's an hour or 2 hours, to either answer emails or to actually like work and package and work on shipping stuff out. But I really just look at what I have on my schedule for the week and then go about it that way.
So you ship everything and you make everything?
Yes, as of now I make everything. Yes.
Okay, so then my question would be what goes into you making like one specific powder? Like if you could pick describing how you make one of these. What would go into that?
Well, for each one, it's pretty much the same process. When I first launched, I didn't have a specific like color scheme. I just picked random ones that I thought like looked good. Basically, like the powders is really, like the pigment is what I'm talking about. And from there, you just really mix everything together, and then you just put it in there. These are really simple to make compared to pressed highlighters, which are coming back. They're coming back, but I would say it's like maybe for these like a 3-step process. So it's really simple, and I can make like a good 100 of these in like an hour. Like that's how easy it is to make loose powder highlighter.
Oh wow.
And package it together and put it like inside the tin.
So you've been doing, like, you have your one major collaboration with the Women of Color.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any collaborations that you plan to do or would you want to do in the future?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I want to do collabs with like everyone I possibly can.
Just get your name out there as much as possible.
Yes, but if I could collab with anyone, it would be Auntie Jackie and Alyssa Ashley. Those would be my top two.
Okay, so this is
Pegasus.
And would you bring the original colors back in the loose highlighters, or is that like gone?
No, they're coming back. I'm actually working on bringing them back now.
This is Pegasus. Do you have a Pegasus?
I have a Pegasus.
I'm gonna be glowing in Vegas, girl. Morgan, how can people get in contact with you, or if they, any collaborations, or they want to get the products?
If you want to buy the product, go to www.mtfcosmetics.com. Our Twitter @name is @mtfcosmetics, and it's the same for Instagram.
So since makeup is your specialty, we decided to play a fun interactive game called the Blind Makeup Challenge. But because we don't got blindfolds, we just gonna close our eyes and see what happens. We'll take turns doing each other's makeup with our eyes closed and see who has the best eye closed beat.
Wow. I have no idea. What is
Morgan.
it? You hot on that app? Let's change colors now. I'm not gonna look. This feels so weird. How long
Are we done?
I don't know.
And this is a final look.
Oh I was all on. No.
What do it look like?
I missed here, but I feel like I missed up here too.
That's your eye. So put my fan back on the same eye.
Okay. Okay, that's my. Okay, here we go. I can feel the fall.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so all right, put me on the outside.
On
Like,
the outside, like
towards the end of your eye.
this. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go.
Please move it to.
Where are you?
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Is that your eye?
There's a whole dot.
Let me just go ahead and.
Wait,
Oh, you
okay.
done?
Did I
Yeah,
dust
you
it
can
out?
be done.
Okay.
Scared of my
Oh!
eyes.
I'm so sorry.
Oh!
This is T. Oh, we use T. Do you want me to wipe it off, or do you want to wipe it off yourself? I don't think you want me to touch you anymore.
Catch our Word on the Street host Reagan discussing small businesses.
Hey y'all, it's Reagan with another back with another segment of Word on the Street for the Spill. This week we decided to ask y'all how you would run your small business. Hi, I'm here with Jess. If you could open a small business, what would the name be and why?
It would be Jess's Joe because I like the JJ type thing, and I like coffee.
Muhammad Performance Racing. So because I'm interested in cars, and I'd rather open a car shop and work on performance tuning and stuff.
Shadies for sunglasses for sure.
The Mesopotamian, like this is the name because I'm from Iraq, and the first civilization is the Mesopotamian, so this is the unique name.
In a small coffee shop and name it Home Sweet Home. It would be in a house, and yeah.
Do work, because that's like our family slogan.
The name of my business would be Play Hard.
If you could hire any celebrity to run your finances, who would that be?
I have 3 main celebrities: Nicki Minaj, Jason Derulo, and Jacquees.
Okay.
So most likely Nicki Minaj.
Mike Tyson, because he can punch his way through it.
I have to say Rihanna, definitely because of Fenty, her makeup line, very successful.
What celebrity or who would you hire to be your brand ambassador?
Neil Patrick Harris.
I would have Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh, hi, Conor McGregor.
I'm going to talk about money because we are the business network and the business of the USA and all that
I'll take
sort of
over
stuff.
from here and you can bounce.
If you were on Celebrity Apprentice, who would you replace Donald Trump with?
Literally anybody. Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that's a jab.
I would replace him with The Rock. Awesome personality and super great person, unlike some people. But.
So I thought I'd give these questions a shot. And so if I were to open a small business, it would be called Cakes and Things. It would be a small breakfast joint. My celebrity to run my finances would definitely Oprah. Like, she's Oprah. She's the answer itself. Obviously, I would have Michelle Obama as my brand ambassador because anybody would come in there for Michelle Obama. And then who would I replace for Donald Trump? I would say Kevin Hart. He's funny, but I feel like when it comes down to his business, like, he's not gonna just let anybody take over. So that's all for this segment of Word on the Street. We hope to see you again on The Spill.
Who is Britt Wright for the people that do not know?
Great question. I'm a 2012 graduate of George Mason University by way of Richmond, Virginia. Currently living in Laurel, Maryland, where I work for Altria Group, and have stood up an event company on the side where I do parties and brunches between DC and Baltimore, and I'm an MBA student at the Smith School of Business in the University of Maryland.
All right, so you graduated from Mason with your communication degree in 2012. So being a communication major, you know the major can span so many different areas. So how have you seen what you've learned here in your current endeavors?
Yeah, great. So I started as a news reporter at a cable network when I graduated, and then transitioned into kind of the business development space, and a lot of the same skill sets apply, whether you're selling the news. I use it when I'm applying and working with different folks in the CPG space, but learning people's story, no matter what aspect of work you do, no matter what aspect of business you do, or even just personal, being able to ask the right questions, being able to write thoughtful emails, being able to be clear and concise, have been transferable skills with my degree, both as a reporter and now kind of as a business developer.
Okay. So in 2016, you organized a Million Man March effort from here on Mason for students and alums to come back and attend the Million Man March on Washington together.
Right.
Why do you think it's so important to come back to your alma mater and just still make connections here?
It's important to give back, to be honest with you. When you think about all the friends and relationships you develop in undergrad, they're not just for those 4 years, they're for the span of your life. And I'm a firm believer in you don't know who you're pouring into and who that person could be later in life. And so in 2012, we had founded the Mason Man March, which unified the black men here on campus to actually celebrate what the actual Million Man March was about. So it was an amazing opportunity, and it kind of came full circle to say, hey, the Million Man March is happening now. Let's see if we can bridge the gap between current students and alumni to go and attend and march for the same causes that affect our demographic day in and day out.
So also in 2016, you were on WKYS's top 30 under 30 list in the DMV, which is a huge accomplishment. As you know, the DMV is like a hub for so much talent. Yeah. So how did that happen, and what was your reaction to that?
It's funny. People were starting to send me the link to the actual website, and I wasn't paying any mind to it. It just was like, all right, I guess they're sending me a song or something. And then somebody had tweeted me congratulations, and so I actually went on and saw a headshot, and I saw kind of my bio of things that I had accomplished. And to this date, I'm very thankful for whoever may have submitted that in. I'm very thankful for them recognizing that. But for me, it's all about continuing to do the right thing for my immediate demographic, the people that I can touch, and to be acknowledged for that. I mean, you don't do things saying, hey, I want to do it to get something. You do it because it's coming from the kindness of your heart. So it was a huge honor. And it catapulted, my year last year as far as events, as far as speaking engagements, as far as being in front of different people. And it's a great, honor to be recognized that way.
So how did you get into curating events in Washington, D.C., and what's your most popular event?
So it started here at Mason, to be honest with you. I was BSA president, and at the time, I was vice president and became president. We had started the Soul Food Dinner. Had an opportunity to live in different dorms that were apartment style and host people for holiday parties. And so that desire to bring people together started here at Mason. And then when I actually moved out of DC, moved outside of Fairfax, had an opportunity to connect with some fraternity brothers that were moving to the area, and we began to host parties and began to host events for some of our friends that were just in the area. And then you really start to think about kind of the business model you can set up in events and promotions and what that means to bring people together, but then also profit off of that as well. And so, over the past 3 years, have hosted 21 plus events. I consider myself a pop-up event planner. I'm not at venues weekly. It's kind of at my own liberty, and I try to brand it with a unique concept that aligns with just how I'm feeling that time of year, maybe how my consumer base is feeling. And my most, popular event, I say year to year, it varies. I said when it first started, it was probably Curation DC, which was an art showcase featuring a live band and a party at the end. This past year, it's been Views from the Grits, which I partnered with a friend of mine, Mikkel, and it's a brunch day party that we've kind of spun off with Drake's concert coming into the city and Broccoli City Festival. And then I've done the Black Alumni Ball as well, which was about 1,000 people this past summer, with Angela Yee co-hosting. So it's those would probably be the two from this past year that had the most, brand awareness in the city. But next year could be something different, kind of depending on how the market shifts.
So that gets me into my next question. Do you have any events currently in the works or things that you're thinking of next?
Mm-hmm. So I can't give you the rest. I can't give you the secrets to everything because it is a competitive space. Mm-hmm. But what I will say, in 2 weeks, I have a extension of Views from the Grits called a Merry Gritsmas Kickback, which is a spin-off of, like I said, our brunch. But it's a game night. So we're going to have a spades tournament. We're going to have taboo. We're going to have checkers, food as well. And then it'll kind of transition into a party later that night. And then... yeah, I think that's all I can tell you for the rest of the year. I just did Founders Day this past weekend for some of the alphas that are living in the city. But got some good things in store for next year as well.
So the Oscars just took place this past weekend. And of course, many black films were nominated, including this year's controversial nomination, Get Out. It seems that since Black Hollywood has been dominating the movie theaters and primetime TV with big names such as Black Panther, A Wrinkle in Time, Grownish, and Black Lightning. So how do y'all feel about all the black power and stuff that's going on in Hollywood and all of that?
I personally like it, being as though I'm one, I'm black, and two, I'm darker. So having things like Black Lightning, it literally is nothing but black excellence the whole time.
We're seeing budding new actresses. I feel like in the black community, we have those same actors and actresses that are always in movies.
See.
Always,
It's good for fresh
Loretta
faces.
Devine, always the grandma. I'm just saying, we have those same actors and actresses. Morris Chestnut is the husband. So I'm happy to see all of these, new faces in Black Hollywood. We have come to the end of yet another episode of The Spill. Remember to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at The Spill GMU for more updates. See ya!